In the place whereby we see malaria as a comforting diagnosis. Once you're told, oh, it's just malaria, you feel like it's malaria, and because of that, people tend to overlook the seriousness of malaria. Malaria is actually more serious than you think it is. Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. This is Dr. Lovable, and if this is the first time, you are highly welcome to the family. Quickly going to the case for today. I have a case of I can't remember the child's age. I think that child was either 5 years or so. I had a case of a 5-year-old boy who was brought into the emergency on account of fever for about 5 days duration. There was cough, and then that aside, there was loss of consciousness. We immediately took this child, admitted this child, started running investigations, and part of the investigations we ran was MP, which is malaria parasite. And these results came back with about 3 to 4 clusters of malaria. We diagnosed this child of severe malaria, but in this case, it was not really just about the severe malaria. This was more of a cerebral malaria because there was already a brain involvement as this child has lost consciousness. We immediately started treatment, but I am bringing this case to you in order to educate you all on cerebral malaria. Once the parasite has entered into the brain and started causing brain damage, that is what we call cerebral malaria, and it can present with loss of consciousness, it can present with coma, it can present with seizures. So these are symptoms of cerebral malaria. Now we have different plasmodium species that cause malaria. We have the falciparum, we have the vivax, we have the malaria, and we have the other one. But the particular plasmodium species that is implicated in cerebral malaria is Plasmodium falciparum. This is the only one that can cause cerebral malaria. So what happens is that when the parasite is in very high concentration, when it has multiplied severally, what happens is that these parasites cross the blood-brain barrier, and what they do once they cross there is they begin to accumulate on the endothelium lining the capillaries. So when they accumulate, they form what feels like a blockage, a kind of a clot, but not a clot, but it forms like a blockage. When this happens, there is reduced blood flow to the brain, which can cause this what we call cerebral malaria. We live in a place whereby we see malaria as a comforting diagnosis. Once you are told, oh, it's just malaria, you feel like it's malaria, and because of that, people tend to overlook the seriousness of malaria. Malaria is actually more serious than you think it is. It's just because we live in an area, especially in Africa, we live in an area where our immune system has become more developed to fighting these plasmodium species because of the constant exposure to these parasites. That is the only thing that is saving us here in Africa, but it still doesn't rule out the fact that malaria is a very deadly disease. So please, whenever you think your child is having malaria and you have given your anti-malarials at home, yet this child is not recovering, please come down to the hospital so that investigations can be done and further treatment can be commenced. I'm still very much against self-medication. Like I keep saying, once you are sick, come down to the hospital and get the appropriate thing done. Why? Because you might end up trying to treat malaria and it's not malaria, or you might end up trying to treat something else and it's another thing. So why not come down to the hospital, run the right investigations and get the right treatment than overdosing yourself with several medications. Like I said, in children, once you notice any form of sickness, please come down to the hospital for proper treatment so that you can easily know how to handle this kind of situation. in this case, the child, after giving the child several anti-malarial doses and all, the child made a full recovery. But we've had a case whereby we lost that child due to severe malaria. It's funny when someone says what killed the child is malaria, but when you don't present early to the hospital, how do you want the doctors to work? The doctors, we are just doctors, but we are not magicians. We don't do magic. So most times people do what we call late presentation. When the case has gotten very bad, when it has gotten very severe, that's when you are coming to the hospital. That's not right, because what do you want us to do? What extra thing do you want? We are not going to do magic. But please, if you had presented to us earlier, we can easily know how to handle that kind of situation and how to help you. So please, I am creating this awareness for you to know that malaria, in as much as it is very rampant here, but it is still a deadly disease. It is still something that can kill if not handled properly, if not treated properly. Please share these videos to anyone you can benefit from this video. Have a nice day. Bye.